The moment Oren Vale stepped through the shimmering archway of the Hall of Concord, the air changed. It wasn't just the temperature, though the chamber was noticeably cooler than the corridor, or the subtle hum that traveled along the walls like distant thunder. No, it was the taste. A faint, metallic tang coated his tongue, sharp and sudden, like someone had placed a polished copper coin under it. He fought the instinct to recall. Not now, not right when they are watching. Keltrassa, the alien moon where the negotiations were being hosted, had been described in Earth's diplomatic briefings as a multisensory environment. That phrase had been a polite way of saying this place overwhelms humans. And Oren could feel every bit of it. The living flaws that pulsed faintly beneath his boots, the bioluminescent walls that flowed with color like drifting clouds, the low electric buzz in the air that made the tiny hairs on his arms rise. It was like stepping into the body of a giant, humming creature. He steadied his breathing, straightened his posture, and tried not to look terrified. Because this was it. The moment he had fought, begged, and applied twice for. Oren Vale, a man known across Earth's diplomatic corps not for strength or brilliance, but for the unfortunate habit of laughing whenever he got too scared, was now the sole representative humanity had sent to negotiate with three of the most powerful alien civilizations. You asked for this assignment, he reminded himself. You told them you could bring something different. Something new. Something no one else tried. But staring across the vast chamber at the waiting alien delegations, he suddenly wished he'd brought a paper bag to breathe into. The Litari stood closest, their tall, glass-like bodies refracting the chamber's ambient colors. Their presence radiated calm, but their unblinking crystalline eyes were unnerving. Behind them, the Vexen twitched and clicked in sharp, insect-like motions, their sleek feathers vibrating with every small sound. And further back, completely motionless, were the Den, towering stone-skinned beings whose carved faces were impossible to read. 3 species, 3 world powers, and 1 human who couldn't even trust his own emotional reactions. Oren swallowed hard, trying to ignore the metallic taste in his mouth. The Litari Prime drifted forward, its translucent form casting shard-like reflections on the floor. When it spoke, its voice chimed like ringing crystal. Human Oren Vale. The hall amplified the voice, turning it into a choir of gentle echoes. Our previous envoy claimed your species lacks sincerity. The envoy before that fell unconscious. We are curious. A faint pink shimmer passed through the Prime's body. What unique skill you bring to this meeting. Oren's heartbeat slammed against his ribs. Sweat gathered at the back of his neck. He could feel the pressure of dozens of alien eyes, prying, measuring, waiting. This was the worst possible moment for his nerves to misfire. Don't freeze, Oren. Not now. Show them you belong here. Just say the opening line. The one you practiced. Just. But when he opened his mouth, no carefully prepared diplomatic greeting came out. Instead, he laughed. Not a small chuckle. Not a polite, awkward breath of amusement. A full, uncontrollable burst of laughter that bounced against the chamber walls like a bizarre alarm. The Litari rippled a deep pink of confusion. The Vexen recoiled with startled clicking sounds. Even the stone-faced Ern leaned forward a fraction, an enormous gesture, coming from them. Oren slapped both hands to his chest, stumbling over his words. Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not laughing at you. I swear. He swallowed, fighting for control. I do this when I'm scared. It's kind of a reflex. A flaw. A very annoying flaw. Silence filled the hall. Heavy. Pressured. Waiting. Oren could hear his heart thudding like someone was pounding a metal door from the inside. This is it. You've ruined humanity's only chance at peace. Congratulations, Oren. Fastest diplomatic failure in history. The Litari Prime tilted its crystalline head. Your fear response is laughter. Yes, Oren said helplessly. Unfortunately. The Prime drifted closer. For a moment, its inner light dimmed and brightened, as if processing the information deeply. And yet, it said, you still came to a place where your fear would be greatest. Oren paused. Then, slowly, he nodded. Because courage isn't the absence of fear, he said quietly. It's showing up anyway. Even if you're shaking inside. Even if you laugh at the worst possible times. He forced a weak smile. And if my fear makes things a little lighter in here, maybe that's not the worst outcome. A faint shimmering sound rippled through the hall. The lit Harry Prime shifted into a soft lavender glow, curiosity, even warmth. One of the Vexen gave a quick, startled chitter that almost sounded like a laugh. And then, most unbelievable of all, one of the mighty Dern released a rumbling vibration, a deep bass-like tremor that unmistakably carried the rhythm of amusement. Keltras's living walls brightened into swirling gold. Orin blinked. Had he actually done something right? For the first time since he entered this impossible chamber, hope flickered in his chest. Maybe laughter really can bridge alien worlds. And as the delegates leaned in, not with hostility, but with genuine interest, Orin Vale straightened, steadied his breath, and prepared to try again. Humanity's fate, strangely enough, might just hinge on a smile. For a long moment after Orin Vale's accidental burst of laughter, the whole of Concord felt lighter, warmer, even. The golden glow rippling through the living walls shifted like liquid starlight, as though the moon itself was reacting to the strange emotional energy in the room. But the moment didn't last. A Vexen envoy stepped forward, its thin, talon-like legs tapping rapidly against the floor. Its feathers fluttered in rapid vibrations, creating a soft buzzing sound. When it spoke, its voice came as lead clicks and tones, translated into English by a hovering silver orb. Human Orin Vale. You claim your reaction is instinctive, not strategy. The translation orb paused, blinking. Explain how such a chaotic trait benefits negotiations. Orin swallowed. The Vexen were known for their precision, their obsession with order, and their almost mathematical emotional control. To them, laughter in the face of danger wasn't brave, it was disorder. He lifted his hands slightly, palms open. A universal gesture. I mean no harm. My reactions aren't perfect, Orin said. But humans aren't perfect either. Sometimes our flaws help us more than our strengths. The Vexen envoy tilted its head, feathers rustling in confusion. They didn't understand flaws. They corrected flaws, they didn't use them. Before Orin could continue, a sound like grinding boulders echoed through the chamber. A Dern moved. The towering stone-skinned giant took one heavy step forward. Its presence was so massive that Orin instinctively stepped back, his heart leaping into his throat. The Dane didn't blink, because they didn't have eyelids. Their rough faces were carved like ancient statues, and no one on Earth had ever seen one show real emotion. When it spoke, the voice came through a deep, resonant vibration that hummed in Orin's bones. Fee? Acknowledged, the Dern rumbled. But this human chooses presence over retreat. The vibration deepened. Interesting. Orin blinked. Is that approval? The Dern were the most feared species in the Tri-Alliance. They destroyed war fleets by physically tearing ships apart. They did not say meaningless words. They did not entertain weakness. And yet, they were studying him, a man who nearly laughed himself into a diplomatic disaster. Then the lit Harry Prime stepped forward again, its crystalline body refracting soft blue and lavender patterns. Human Orin Vale, the Prime said gently, your laughter changed the emotional temperature of this chamber. The walls responded. The delegations responded. Even the Dern responded. The Prime paused. This is unusual. Orin felt his pulse spike. He was either about to be praised or politely escorted out of the moon's atmosphere. He took a breath. Maybe that's because laughter is universal, he said. Maybe not the sound itself, but the feeling behind it. Its vulnerability. Its honesty. It tells you exactly how scared I am, and that I'm still willing to stand here. The Prime tilted its shimmering head. And what is it, the lit Harry asked softly, that you fear most in this moment? Orin's throat tightened. He hadn't expected that question. He looked at the three delegations, at the pulsing, living hall, at the weight of humanity on his shoulders. Then he answered truthfully. That I'm not enough, he said. That I'll fail you, fail Earth, and lose humanity's chance for peace. The hall grew quiet again, but not the cold, suffocating silence from before. This silence was thoughtful, almost gentle. The Vexen envoy emitted a soft trill. Humans fear inadequacy, yet they attempt tasks beyond their scale. Its feathers lifted slightly. A fascinating inefficiency. The Dane rumbled again. Imperfect. Fragile. Unpredictable. Another vibration followed. These traits produce resilience. For the Dane, that was the equivalent of a compliment. Orin let out a shaking breath. If he could get 3 species who barely agreed on the shape of diplomacy to agree on something positive about humans, maybe there was hope. The Litari Prime moved even closer, until Orin could see the shifting patterns inside its crystalline form, like swirling galaxies, each color representing a different thought. Orin Vale, the Prime said, Earth's previous diplomats attempted to present strength. They hid fear. They hid flaws. The Prime's glow softened. You show them openly. Orin tensed, unsure if that was good or bad. Is that a problem? He asked cautiously. It is a difference, the Prime answered. And difference is what this negotiation needs. The words hit Orin like a warm wave. He exhaled slowly, shoulders relaxing for the first time since he'd entered the chamber. But then the Prime raised a hand. Understand this, human, it continued. Peace between our worlds will not be simple. The Tri-Alliance faces internal fractures. Threats rise beyond our borders. Old enemies stir in the silence of deep space. A chill crawled up Orin's spine. You will be tested, the Prime said. Your instincts will be tested. Your species will be tested. Orin swallowed hard and nodded. I wasn't sent here because I'm perfect, he said. I was sent here because I'm human. The Vexen made a clicking sound that might have been approval. The Dane rumbled again, resonating through the hall. The Litari Prime extended its shimmering hand. Then let us begin the first phase of the Concord trial. Orin straightened. This was it. The true start of humanity's greatest diplomatic challenge. And if laughter had opened the door, he would walk through it, fear and all. The hall of Concord transformed before Orin's eyes. A low hum vibrated through the living walls as the first phase of the Concord trial began. The colors shifted, gold slipping into deep blues, greens blooming like bioluminescent vines. The floor beneath Orin's boots pulsed more steadily now, as though acknowledging that the negotiation had officially started. Orin took a slow breath. Okay. Phase 1. Whatever that means. The Litari Prime glided toward a circular platform in the center of the chamber. As it approached, the platform unfolded, petal-like shapes rising, twisting, and interlocking into a crystalline table. 3 seats emerged from the ground around it. Then a 4th, smaller, clearly designed for a human. Orin swallowed. Great. Even the furniture knows I'm out of my league. He stepped toward his seat, legs trembling slightly. Every alien eye followed him. Even the usually motionless Dane tilted their massive stone heads with faint interest. When Orin sat, the platform responded to his weight with a soft tone, like a distant chime. The Litari Prime spoke first. Phase 1 is the declaration of intent. Each delegation will state what they seek and what they fear. Orin blinked. Fear. They want us to say our fears out loud. Is that normal diplomatic procedure? The Vexen envoy stepped forward, its feathers lifting in a crisp, efficient pattern. We seek order, it declared. Unity. A stable flow of resources. What we fear is chaos, unregulated behavior, emotional volatility, and unpredictable alliances. Orin heard the underlying message clearly. We fear you, human. Then came the Dane. The stone-skinned giant approached the table and placed one massive hand on its surface. The chamber vibrated with its deep resonance. We seek endurance, the Dane rumbled. Long-term survival. Preservation of our lineage. A rumble deeper than thunder followed. We fear stagnation, the slow death of purpose. Orin felt those words in his bones, literally. Their voices carried physical weight. Then the Litari Prime spoke. We seek harmony, it said, its body glowing a serene silver blue. Shared progress. Knowledge that unites. The glow flickered with a subtle darkening. We fear division. Old fractures reopening. The return of the Silence War. Orin had heard whispers about the Silence War, an ancient conflict so devastating that entire star systems vanished from maps. But the details were classified. If the Litari mentioned it, the stakes were even higher than Earth realized. Then the Prime turned to him. Orin Vale of Earth, it said. State your intent. Orin's pulse hammered. He felt the weight of 3 civilizations pressing on him. He stood slowly. "I seek peace," he said. "Not just survival. Not just treaties. Real peace, where humans and the Tri-Alliance learn from each other instead of fearing each other." He hesitated, then added, "And I hope I can represent something good about us." The Litari nodded. "Now state your fear." Orin felt his throat tighten. He could lie. Diplomats lied all the time. But the walls of Keltrasser were alive. They shifted colors when someone lied. And Orin was a terrible liar. So he chose honesty. "My fear," Orin said softly, "is failing before I even begin." The walls shifted, gold, then blue, then a soft, gentle white. Truth. But then something changed. As he stood there, heart pounding, his nerves suddenly kicked. Hard. And it happened again. He laughed. A loud, sudden, uncontrolled burst that echoed through the chamber like a cosmic hiccup. The Vexen snapped its head around in alarm. The Doan's stone brows lifted slightly. Even the Litharai's colors wavered in a ripple of pale pink confusion. Orin clapped a hand over his mouth. I swear I'm not doing this on purpose," he stammered. "I'm terrified right now. My brain just flips a switch." The Vexen translation all flickered and replayed a confused version of his words. "Human claims, fear produces noise." The Vexen envoy clicked sharply. "Your species is inefficient." Orin threw his hands up. "I know." But then, a sound rolled through the hall. A Doan laugh. Low, deep, like mountains shifting. It wasn't mocking. It wasn't cruel. It was amused. The Litari began to glow a soft lavender. The Vexen feathers fluttered with startled micro-vibrations. The Litari Prime leaned in. "Orin Vale," it said softly, "you have disrupted the traditional sequence of the Concord trial." Orin winced. "Sorry." But the Prime continued. "And yet, the atmosphere has shifted. The tension has eased. Even the Doan reacted with mirth, a rare occurrence." The Dane rumbled. "Human produces unconventional resonance." Orin blinked. "Is that a compliment?" The Litari Prime folded its hands. "Perhaps your greatest strength," it said, "is the ability to disrupt fear." The wall behind them brightened into a warm gold. Orin exhaled shakily. "Maybe laughter isn't my flaw. Maybe it's my superpower." The Litari Prime turned toward the delegations. With the declaration of intent complete, it said, "We proceed to Phase 2. Orin tensed. "What's Phase 2? He asked. The Prime's glow darkened into a deep, mysterious blue. "The trial of truth." Orin's stomach dropped. "Is it dangerous?" The Doan stepped forward, towering above him. "Yes," the Doan rumbled. "But danger reveals the core of one's nature." Orin's nervous system reacted instantly. He laughed. Loud, uncontrolled, echoing. The delegation stared. And the trial of truth began. Orin Vale's pulse hammered like a malfunctioning engine as he walked beside the towering Litari Prime through the glowing corridor of the Hall of Concord. Every footstep echoed with a soft, musical hum, Keltrasser's living metal resonating with the emotions of those who walked upon it. Today, it sounded tense, sharp, expectant. He tried to relax, but his nerves vibrated with the knowledge that one wrong word could ignite an interspecies conflict spanning a dozen star systems. The Vexen swarms, already suspicious of humanity, could interpret any hesitation as weakness. The Doan, ever silent and inscrutable, might read emotional instability as an insult. And the Litari, fragile-looking, but wielding technology older than Earth's continents, valued perfect emotional precision. Orin had none of that. He had laughter, a ridiculous diplomatic tool, yet strangely effective so far. But today, everything felt different. The hall's walls shimmered in deep, stormy blues, Keltrasser's version of a warning. "Human Orin Vale," the Litari Prime said softly, "you must understand the stakes of this meeting. The Vexen broodmother herself demanded your presence. She believes you hide a weapon." Orin blinked. "A weapon? Me?" "Your laughter," the Prime replied. Orin nearly choked. "Wait, they think humor is a weapon." "Not humor." The Prime's crystalline voice darkened. "Control of emotion." That made Orin's stomach drop. Before he could respond, the chamber doors dissolved into mist, revealing the negotiation vault. The air inside swirled in shimmering patterns, thick with tension and electrified unease. The Vexen broodmother waited at the center, 6 feet tall, mantis-like, and twitching with agitation. Thousands of her bioluminescent eyes glowed in unison, all locked on Orin. Beside her stood the Dern envoy, a stone-skinned giant, arms crossed like sculpted mountains. Every alien turned toward him. Orin swallowed hard. Okay. No laughing. Don't laugh. Please don't laugh. The broodmother clicked her mandibles. Human Orin Vale, she hissed. You distort fear. You turn anxiety into unpredictable noise. Our hive mind cannot categorize you. This makes you dangerous. Orin froze. 100 responses battled in his head, each one worse than the last. And then, because his brain hated him, he laughed. Not loud. Not wild. A short, startled burst. The sound bounced off the chamber walls like a firecracker. The broodmother recoiled sharply. The Vexen guards hissed in unison. The Dern envoy rumbled with displeasure. The lit Harry Prime pulsed painful red. Orin slapped both hands over his mouth. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I swear I'm not mocking you. It's just, this is a lot of pressure, and my brain tries to stop me from panicking by doing the worst possible thing. The broodmother stepped toward him. Her voice sharpened. You fear us? Yes. Orin said. Of course. You have claws that could slice a battlesuit in half. A pause. Then another laugh escaped him, helpless and awkward. The walls shifted to swirling gold. The lit Harry Prime paused. The broodmother's antennae twitched. You admit fear, she said slowly. And yet, you stand. Orin nodded, breath uneven. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's showing up anyway, even when your brain thinks it's funny to betray you. The Vexen delegates exchanged clicks of confusion. The Dern envoy shifted, massive body vibrating gently. The broodmother leaned close, so close Orin could see the fine fractal patterns in her shimmering eyes. You weaponize vulnerability, she said. What? Orin blinked. No, I'm just honest. Honesty is a weapon. Orin blinked again. Okay, then I'm accidentally very armed. Something unexpected happened. The broodmother made a sound, sharp, clicking, rhythmic. The lit Harry Prime pulsed pale lavender. It seems, the Prime whispered, that the broodmother is laughing. Orin stared. Wait, that was a laugh. The broodmother straightened. It is rare, but your emotional irregularity is contagious. The room fell into stunned silence. Vexen giggled in static-like bursts. A few lit Harry emitted soft crystalline chimes. Even the stone-faced Dern envoy released a low, seismic rumble. And then Keltras's living walls exploded into radiant gold. The whole of Concord recognized harmony. For the first time in its long, alien history, Orin exhaled, dizzy with relief. The broodmother bowed her head. Human Orin Vale, you have introduced an anomaly to our diplomatic calculus. We must re-evaluate humanity's threat assessment. That's good. Orin asked cautiously. We will consider peace, she said. Under one condition. Orin tensed. Name it. You will accompany us to the hive spire. The Queen wishes to comprehend this laughter. Orin's heart sank. Of course it wouldn't be easy. He forced a wobbly smile. Sure. Why not? What's the worst that could happen? The Dern envoy rumbled ominously. Many things. Orin groaned internally. Great. Fantastic. Wonderful. And yet, despite the fear twisting his stomach, a spark of hope flickered inside him. If laughter could work here, maybe it could work anywhere. Maybe humanity had just unlocked a new kind of diplomacy. A human kind. The shuttle smelled like burnt copper and something sweetly sour, like fruit left in the sun too long. Orin Vale tried not to breathe too deeply as the Vexen transport lifted off from the hull of Concord, its wings vibrating with insect-like precision. He sat strapped into an organic-looking seat that pulsed uncomfortably beneath him, as if it were alive. He hated that feeling. He hated even more the towering Vexen guards staring at him like he was some unpredictable creature that might explode into laughter at any second. Which, to be fair, was not inaccurate. The brood mother sat across from him, arms folded in an eerily human gesture. Her 100 shimmering eyes shifted colors, observing him with scientific fascination. "You fear this journey," she said. Orin sighed. "Honestly, I fear everything that's happening right now." The brood mother clicked thoughtfully. "And yet you continue forward. That's the job. Humans are contradictory." He shrugged. "It keeps life interesting." The shuttle jerked sharply as it pierced the clouds of Keltrassa. Orin grabbed the seat, knuckles whitening. "Don't laugh. Don't laugh. Don't." A small, nervous chuckle escaped him. "The Vexen gods hissed." The brood mother tilted her head. The walls of the shuttle pulsed gold for half a heartbeat, responding to the emotional spike. Orin cleared his throat. "Sorry. Turbulence." "We do not register turbulence," the brood mother said calmly. "Right. Of course you don't. Why would you?" Orin groaned. As the shuttle climbed higher, the clouds thinned, revealing the vast, breathtaking structure ahead, the Hive Spire. Orin stared, stunned. It wasn't a building. It was a living mountain, spiraling upward like a colossal seashell. Bioluminescent veins ran across its surface, pulsing with turquoise and neon green. Swarms of Vexen soldiers flew in synchronized patterns around it like constellations given life. The Hive Spire radiated power, age, authority. Orin swallowed. "This is beautiful and terrifying." "Appropriate," the brood mother replied. "It is the heart of our civilization." The shuttle descended into a massive opening in the spire's side. Thousands of glowing eyes watched him from the walls. Whisper clicks echoed everywhere like rain on glass. Orin's skin crawled. When the shuttle docked, the brood mother gestured. "Come. The queen awaits." Orin stepped out onto a platform that felt warm beneath his boots. The spire was truly alive. The air buzzed faintly, as if charged with invisible currents. Vexen drones lined the walkways, studying him in curious silence. Every instinct screamed at Orin to turn around and leave. But he walked forward, because Earth was counting on him. They reached a towering door made of interwoven carapace plates. It unfolded like blooming petals, revealing a vast chamber. And at its center sat the Vexen queen. Orin's breath froze. She was enormous, easily 20 feet tall, her body a kaleidoscope of crystalline blues and greens. Her wings shimmered like stained glass. Her eyes were galaxies of swirling lights. But her presence, that was what made Orin's knees tremble. She radiated intellect like a star radiated heat. When she spoke, her voice resonated in the air and in Orin's bones. "Human Orin Vale," the queen said. "Step forward." Orin forced his legs to move, each step heavier than the last. He could feel thousands of Vexen minds brushing against his thoughts, analyzing, probing, interpreting his every heartbeat. When he reached the center of the chamber, the queen lowered her head until her vast eyes stared directly into his. "You have introduced disorder," she said. "You have destabilized the hive's emotional equilibrium." Orin opened his mouth. "Sorry." A laugh popped out before he could stop it. The chamber froze. Every Vexen stiffened. Orin slapped a hand over his mouth, horrified. I didn't mean." The queen lifted one massive hand. "Silence. You fear me," she said. Orin nodded quickly. "Very much. And yet you laugh." "I don't do it on purpose," he said helplessly. "It just happens." The queen leaned closer. "Explain." Orin took a shaky breath. "Humans, we're complicated. When we get scared or overwhelmed, sometimes our brains don't react logically. Laughter is one of those weird reactions. It's not disrespect. It's not dominance. It's survival." The queen stared at him, eyes swirling. "Survival." "Yeah," Orin whispered. "It's how we stop ourselves from falling apart. When we laugh, it means we're still trying, still holding on." A long, heavy silence settled over the chamber. Then, a low, rhythmic clicking filled the air. Not angry, not analytical, amused. The queen was laughing. The drones echoed her with rippling chitter laughter. The chamber glowed in soft golden waves, the living walls responding to the shift. Orin blinked in disbelief. "I made the queen laugh." The brood mother stepped forward, voice warm with newfound understanding. You have altered the hive's perception of humanity. We see now that your unpredictability is not a threat, but a form of courage. The queen extended one massive claw toward Orin. A new treaty must be written, she said. One shaped not by fear, but by this laughter. Orin exhaled shakily. After everything. After fear, panic, humiliation. They wanted peace. Then I'm ready, he said softly. Let's build it together. And as the hive spire glowed brighter and brighter, Orin felt it. Humanity had finally been seen. Not as conquerors. Not as prey. But as something entirely new. A species that turned fear into connection. A species worth trusting. Orin Vale stood at the center of the hive spire's grand hall, a cavernous chamber, so vast it could have swallowed an Oath city block. Bioluminescent tendrils illuminated the air in shifting patterns, casting soft waves of blue, green, and gold across the organic walls. Vexen drones hovered silently in formation, their wings humming like distant storms. In front of him, the Vexen queen towered over the assembly, her crystalline wings shimmering like living stained glass. Behind him stood the lit Harry Prime and the Dern Envoy, two different species with ancient grudges, both watching him with something close to respect. Orin swallowed. This was it. The first multi-species peace treaty involving humanity. And somehow, Earth had chosen a man whose fear response was laughter. No pressure, Orin told himself. His brain didn't listen. His palms were already sweating. The queen raised her massive hand, silencing the murmuring hive. Begin, she commanded. Orin stepped forward, heart hammering. Delegates of the Vexen hive lit Harry Accord, and Dern Stonefold, thank you for trusting me. A ripple of color shimmered across the room. Orin continued, voice steadier than he felt. I know our species are different. We fear different things. We value different things. And sometimes, we misunderstand each other so badly that what feels easier than communication. He paused, forcing himself to meet the queen's swirling eyes. But fear doesn't have to divide us. Sometimes, fear shows us where courage begins. The lit Harry delegates pulsed gentle lavender. The Dern rumbled thoughtfully. Orin took a breath. Humans aren't the strongest. We aren't the fastest. We don't have hive minds or living metal or skin made of stone. What we do have is the ability to adapt, to find humor even in danger, to stay standing when every instinct tells us to run. He felt his throat tighten. And we have the ability to laugh, especially when the universe is terrifying. A faint chitter rolled through the Vexen ranks, Vexen laughter. Even the queen's eyes brightened with amusement. Orin smiled, relieved. Humor isn't a weapon. It's a bridge. And today, I hope it connects our worlds. The queen lowered her enormous head until she hovered only a few feet above him. Human Orin Vale, she said, voice echoing through the hall. The hive recognizes your courage. Your laughter has altered our understanding of emotional logic. It has revealed vulnerability as a strength. Her wings fled, casting vibrant colors across the assembly. We hereby propose the Treaty of Laughter. A murmur spread through the hall. Astonishment, disbelief, curiosity. The lit Harry Prime stepped forward, crystalline voice ringing clay. The accord accepts. Let this treaty symbolize a new age, one defined not by conquest, but by harmony. The Dern Envoy nodded, gravel voice rumbling like shifting mountains. Stonefold approves. Laughter echoes long. We honor this. 3 civilizations, all watching him. Orin's breath trembled. He didn't want to mess this up. A drone floated to him carrying a living scroll, woven from biofiber glowing like soft moonlight. The treaty text pulsed lightly, shifting as each species added their unique signature. When it hovered in front of him, Orin hesitated. Not because he doubted the treaty, but because he doubted himself. You're not a warrior, he told himself. You're not a diplomat trained for this. You're just a terrified human with a weird anxiety reflex. He nearly stepped back. Then the queen spoke again, soft but resonant. You fear failure, she whispered. And yet you stand. A small, involuntary laugh escaped Orin. The hall reacted instantly. Waves of gold rolled across the walls. Vexen drones trilled in delight. Lit Harry chimed. Dane rumbled deep laughter like distant thunder. Oren felt warmth spread through him. Laughter didn't weaken the moment. It strengthened it. He reached forward and pressed his hand onto the glowing treaty. The scroll pulsed bright gold, the spire recognizing his emotional truth. The treaty was sealed. A roar of sound filled the chamber. Thousands of drones singing, Lit Harry voices chiming like crystal bells, and the Dawn pounding the ground in approval. Oren took a step back as the Queen addressed the hall. Humanity has shown us a new path. One where emotions are not weapons, but tools. Where fear can become laughter. Where vulnerability becomes unity. She turned her massive eyes toward him. We recognize Earth as an ally of the Hive. The Lit Harry Prime bowed. The Accord welcomes this new union. The Dawn envoy pounded his chest. Stonefold stands with humanity. Oren felt his chest tighten, not with fear this time, but with pride. He had done it. Earth had done it. Through laughter. As the ceremony ended, the brood mother approached him quietly. You altered the Hive, she said. Do you realize how rare that is? Oren rubbed the back of his neck. Honestly, I'm still trying to process that I didn't accidentally start a war. You did more than avoid war, she said. You changed us. Oren looked around the hall. 3 great civilizations united, not by force, but by understanding. By humanity. He exhaled slowly. Then maybe this is just the beginning. The brood mother pulsed pale green. Indeed. The galaxy will remember today. Oren smiled. Because for the first time since stepping onto Keltrassa, he didn't feel like an imposter. He felt like a diplomat. A real one. And far above, the Hive spire glowed brighter than ever, its living walls echoing with something new. Harmony. Hope. Laughter.